Hey, it's Dr. Jake. I'm back for a follow-up to 2.2 linear equation homework. Um, I just want to go over a couple of things. In particular, how to graph an equation that's given to you in slope-intercept form. So I talked a lot about the three different forms. We have the standard form, we have the slope-intercept, and we have the point-slope. I showed lots of different examples, but I didn't show you this one. One of the reasons was I wanted to save it for a special video that also shows you how to use the graphing software and the features, what we call the graphing tool, the way you'll be submitting all the graphs in this course, starting with lines. So you'll see here in the homework, this is y equals 5/3 x minus 2. All right. And remember, with this form, it tells you two very important things. It tells you the slope. That's where it gets its name, slope-intercept. And it tells you the y-intercept. Now, it really only tells you half of the y-intercept. It tells you that it's -2. But because it's an intercept, it has a 0 in one of the two coordinates. And I already know I went over this. A y-intercept has a 0 in the first coordinate, and an x-intercept would have a 0 in the second coordinate. So there's your free point. Okay. Now what we need is a second point, because you'll see over here in the graphing tool, you'll click 2 points. I'm purposely getting this wrong. You can just clear it out. Let's go ahead and put the free point first. So we have 0, -2. So that'll be right there, down 2. Now be careful you don't accidentally go left 2. All right. And then if you move your mouse around, it'll give you the option of sticking the second point down. Now you could just freehand it right now. I've already discussed what the slope is. The slope is the rise. It's called delta y. It's also known as the rise. And then we have the run called delta x. All right. Now, if both of these numbers are positive, then that means you're going to go up and right. That's what positive means. I'll do maybe another example if I have time, but I really just wanted to cover this one first. I will mention it if I want to move along, that if the slope was negative, then I would, instead of rising up, I would rise down. Some people might call that falling down, but we call it rising negatively, instead of falling down. In this example, since both of them are positive, we're going to start at 0, -2. So that's going to be our starting point, and we are going to go up 5 units and right 3 units, and that will give us our second point. Now, if you are very good at visual math, if you go up 5 units from -2, you end up at +3. So you went up 5. And if you go right 3 units starting at 0, you will end up also at +3. So both of the coordinates are, in fact, +3. So our second point will be at 3, 3. All right. Now that's, again, I just did that visually and just by thinking and talking my way through it. Suppose you want to have sort of a fail-safe, or what we call a redundancy check, where you check whether or not your answer makes sense. You could just submit it right now, but I mean, I've got the time. I'm here, I've got the camera on, I might as well do it. You can easily check the second point by simply plugging in whatever the run is for x. Supposed to say plug in, also known as evaluating, x equals 3. Whatever the run is, that's the delta x. All right, whatever that happens to be. If you don't see a denominator, I know I've mentioned this before. If you don't see the denominator, it's a 1. Right? Every integer, every whole number has an invisible 1 in the denominator. If the problem is a fractional slope, well, then you'll see the denominator, and that'll be whatever you're going to plug in. And this is just going to verify that my second point is right. Now, of course, I could just come over here and click submit and find out. But, maybe it's a test, or maybe it's a quiz, or, maybe I just don't want to have to do the problem twice. So I'm going to plug in x equals 3. Now, make sure that when you plug it in, you don't put it in the denominator. It's a fraction multiplied by a whole number, which actually means you're multiplying two fractions. All right? 3 is actually 3 over 1. So that becomes 15 over 3, which just goes right back to being 5. And then don't forget minus 2. And there you go. I'm not going to waste another line. That's going to be 3, 3. So x was 3. Y was 3. So the point is 3, 3. Check. Verified. All right. Now, I probably could have done that a lot easier, but, I wanted to show you every possible scenario. Let's come over here and submit. And sure enough, it's correct. All right. If you want to try a different version of the problem, you can come up here and click Get Similar, especially if you get it wrong more than three times. But you don't have to wait 3 times. So you could say, I'm tired of this one. I'm going to try a different one. It'll change the problem for you. You can also view a written example. Other authors have submitted. I don't know if you can see that, can you? I guess you can't. Well, I'm seeing it, but you'll see it on a pop-up window. For some reason, my camera is not picking up the pop-up window. So I'm going to scroll back up. So you see where it says written example here. If you're not, being filmed like I am, the camera's just not picking up the pop-up window, but it'll pop up a separate window and it'll show you just a handwritten example, sort of the way it would look in a textbook of that example. Just for fun, since it's only been a minute or two, let's try another one, see if we get a negative. I'm going to keep trying. You do have to get it wrong to get a similar. So let's get it wrong on purpose. No, get it wrong again. How many times I got to try this before I get a negative? There we go. We got a negative. Perfect. All right, so we have a negative slope this time. It's exactly what I wanted. So I can show you really quickly. Same basic process. We got negative 4/3 x plus 2. So our free point is 0, 2. That's our free y-intercept. So we'll start with that. 0, positive 2. So right there. Now my rise, even if the negative is out in the middle, so sometimes the negative will be right here, I always move the negative sign up so it's associated with the numerator. Right? You don't have to do that, but you got to put the negative somewhere, right? So you could put the negative with the denominator, with the 3 if you want. But you're going to be watching these videos for the next, 14 or 15 weeks. So you might as well get used to the way I generally do it. So I associate the negative with the numerator. There are not 2 negatives. There's just 1 negative sign. So that means I'm going to go down 4 units. So starting here, this is to get my second point. Starting at 2, I'm going to go down 4 units. Well, that's going to put me at negative 2. That's my second point. And then for the x, again, I'm right-handed, so I always go right. If you're left-handed, you could go left if you want, right? But then you would have to go up. So maybe I will just say that one time. Your other option, sort of the lefty option, would be to go left 3 and up 4 if you're left-handed. All right. I typically maneuver the mouse with my right hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right 3 units starting with 0. So that puts us at 3, -2. So we are at +3 and -2. And there it is. Now you will notice if I was left-handed, I would still have gotten the right answer. Left 3 and up 4 would put me up here at 6. Yeah, so Y would be 6. The left-handed person would have gotten 6 for Y, right? That's going up 4 units. But then they have to go left 3 units, so that would put you at -3, 6. Now, I've already gotten the correct answer, but I'll just put my little pencil here, if you can see it, at -3, 6. And I don't know if that picks up my pencil or not. I'm not sure what you're seeing, but I'm trying to put my cursor on there so that you can actually see where I'm at. -3, 6. That would be an alternative if I wanted you to do a third point. The technology is pretty simple, so it should show you that. I don't know if I scrolled down far enough to see the submit button, but it's down here. I've already done it. Okay. All right. From time to time, I will submit additional short form videos that just show one question. I've got a really good one. I said I was going to do one question, so let me just really quickly tell you what I'm going to come back with next time. So I noticed that on none of my videos, or at least not on this particular video, did I show you this one. So this is the one we're going to see next time. But until then, do your homework. This is Dr. Jordan, and I'll see you on the internet.